Man, did I really miss an opportunity to see this movie in a crowded theater when it came out because holy God, Ethan Hawke is an actor. So The Black Phone is a new horror thriller from director Scott Derrickson that released back in June, starring Mason Thames, Madeline McGraw, and Ethan Hawke as the movie's villain and full-blown psychopath known as the Grabber. The film follows Finney, who is a kid who ends up getting abducted by a masked killer and has to figure his way out of the entire situation in order to escape using a black phone that helps him to hear the voices of the murderer's previous victims who are set on helping him make an escape. Scott Derrickson as a director really shines here with yet another horror film under his filmography after doing films like The First Doctor Strange, Deliver Us from Evil, and even the original Sinister film back from 2012, which also starred Ethan Hawke. And speaking of Ethan Hawke, you already heard my little thing about him in the beginning, and I meant every word of it. Ethan Hawke to this day I think is proving himself more and more to be one of the more underrated actors working today, and that he just doesn't get enough work. This guy is an incredible actor, and seeing him play this character who by all means is an absolute psychopath, like I said, and even more, he really does get a chance to shine and prove his acting skills. If the Oscars were tomorrow, he'd definitely be up there with one of the 5 actors who got the nomination. And of course, he plays a murderer who abducts children, and one of those children is a kid named Finney, played by Mason Thames. And once you get through the first 30 to 45 minutes, that's when we get to know how he has to figure out how to escape the situation he's in while under the watch of Ethan Hawke. And I'll say this right now, I think this kid is going to end up becoming a star in the future because he acts his ass off in this movie. He's really, really good and shows a true level of emotion of how a kid would probably act in a situation like he's in. The same even goes for his sister, who's played by the actress Madeline McGraw. She has a scene at the very beginning of the film with regards to the family dad that, without giving you any information on it, I felt every single emotion that she gave because it looked so real from everything that I had seen in my own real life when a kid gets emotional. So if it wasn't clear enough, yes, the acting in this movie is absolutely amazing. Now, of course, the story is where this film gets very interesting because once this kid gets abducted, he has to figure out the whole situation, and one of the things he has to use to help him is this black phone inside of the prison that he's in, which basically allows him to hear the voices of all the murder's previous victims. They help give him subtle hints to figure out how they did what they did when they were trying to escape before they ended up finding themselves dead. And so this is just a really interesting concept for a horror film, of which, while I really liked what they did, I do feel like there are some things that left me questioning how some things would tie into one another with regards to certain character motivations and certain things that characters do along the way. So without giving anything away, basically, the sister has an ability to do something throughout the entirety of the film, and let's just say it comes in handy quite a lot as the film progresses. However, I do think it is a little weird that it wasn't fully explained how she's able to do it. Unless I missed something, I swear there were hints to it, but we didn't get a full explanation. So I just felt for myself that it was a little weird seeing that. But even moving past that, while Finney is trying to figure out everything going on and while his sister is trying to figure out her situation, what this movie really strives on so much more than most recent horror films that I've seen, at least, is the tension. Scott Derrickson directs Ethan Hawke so well here to the point where I really never knew what was going to come next. He directs him so well to the point where he really does make him one of the more terrifying villains that I've seen in any film this year. That's not to say that this villain will end up becoming an iconic character 5 years down the line, but if more people catch onto this film and they see what he can do here, then by all means I might be eating my words there. And there are some jump scares that are utilized very well here, and unlike most horror films, are not hitting you over the head with it to the point where you could literally foreshadow what was going to come next, which is why I think Scott Derrickson just did a really fantastic job. As far as criticisms go, I don't have too many other than the one thing about the sister, and then also there is some stuff relating to the first 30 to 45 minutes where I do think it was a little slower than I thought it would be. It's only to the point where once you get to where Finney is abducted is when the movie completely picks up. All the stuff in the first 30 to 45 minutes is really all about developing our characters while also laying some groundwork to what was to come. I guess in my opinion, I just thought it probably could have been paced a little bit better. But honestly, even with all that, I really can't think of too much else to criticize about the film. It's really a good film with great directing, great acting, a solid runtime, and a fantastic score as well. I forgot to mention that. Couple that in with Ethan Hawke as just one of the more terrifying villains of the year so far. But that's pretty much just a short review of The Black Phone. I know this movie came out back in theaters in June, and I just never got a chance to see it when it came out, so I'm here now giving a review. And so I want to hear all your thoughts down below in the comments. If you have seen it since it has been 2 months, let me know what you think of the film. And if you enjoy this review and you'd like to see more, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new. You would really help me out. I would greatly appreciate it. I hope you all have a great weekend. Be safe, have fun, and I will see you in the next review.